Hey guys, what's up? It's me, I'm Stricken, and today we're going to do a rear differential fluid drain on the 2013 or newer Hyundai Santa Fe. The equipment you will need is about a bottle of GL or gear lube. I bought 75/90. You will need a fluid transfer pump, preferably one that fits right on top of one of these style bottles, so it'll say it right on the cover. And you will need a either 5/16 socket or a 24 socket. They both fit, they both can work. And if you have an impact wrench, great. If not, you'll just have to use a little bit more muscle on a ratchet. So let's get underneath the car. First, let's change, because this fluid is the most disgusting fluid, the most awful smell you'll ever smell in your life. So you definitely don't want it on your clothing. It never washes off, it never washes out. I don't care what you try. You will have to burn your clothing in order to get rid of that smell. So let's change and get underneath the car and get this fluid change going. All right, guys, as a side note, I did lift my vehicle up to get a little bit more clearance for when I crawl up underneath. You want to keep your vehicle as level as possible. So if you only have, say, for example, the rear ramps, what's going to end up happening is your car is going to tilt forward. You're going to end up pouring more fluid into your differential than needed. So if you are going to tilt your car forward in such a way, or you have a driveway that does that, try to find a way to counteract that tilt, and also then just pour less fluid in if it's, you know, unavoidable. So let's get underneath the car. All right, guys, looking at this from the back of the vehicle, we always have the spare tire, the muffler on the top right here. The differential is going to be right in the center area between the two rear tires. All right, guys, now that we're underneath the vehicle, we obviously have our exhaust pipe here, and this is going to be the part we're going to be working on. This is your rear differential. This is the drain bolt, and this is the fill bolt. And if you read the field service manuals, it'll always tell you, all of them, to drain the fluid and then fill in fresh fluid, right? But what happens when you drain the fluid and this bolt is seized, or you strip it, or it just decided to weld itself shut due to metal fusion? Well, you're not going to get any fresh fluid back in here because you just drained it all out and you don't have a way to fill it back up. So do not listen to any field service manuals that tell you to first remove this bolt, then remove that one. It's always actually the opposite way. You want to first remove the fill bolt to make sure you can actually have a way to fill fluid back in there, because otherwise you'll have to tow your vehicle in to service. So open up your fill bolt first, then you can drain the fluid out. That ensures that you will not have any problems along the way. Now, your rear differential is powered by the actuator up here. All right, this is the actual clutch pack in here, and it is fed power through these propeller shaft, which goes all the way up to the front tranny area. So that's how you actually have all-wheel drive system. In order to access the fill bolt, you will actually have to go through this cross member, subcarrier, whatever it is you want to call it. So we have to remove this cap here. Simply stick a flathead, peel it back, and now you have full access right into, to stick that socket right through into the fill bolt. Alright, so what I'm doing now, guys, is I'm actually sticking the socket in to the fill bolt. I'm using my impact wrench to remove it. You can use a regular ratchet. And it's open. Like I said, this ensures that we have a way to fill it back up. Otherwise, we're going to be calling a tow truck. That's just a washer. See, that came off right there. Just a bolt and washer. Set that aside for now. Now we're going to remove the drain bolt. There it goes. Whatever you do, do not get whiff of that. Oh. Oh my God, this smells awful. Fluid actually is not a bad color. I've definitely seen a lot worse. All right, this is that metal dust, that puree. This stuff, even though it's right now it's stuck to the magnet, it doesn't stay that way. When the fluid's sloshing around in there, this is being moved about and it's circulating around with the good fluid, and this metal dust creates an abrasive material between all the gears. This in itself begins to wear down the gears even more than just what normal use is. It's not bad, actually. I've seen a lot worse. When I took my Rogue apart, this magnet, I mean, it had probably like a good ½ an inch of shavings attached to it. It was ridiculous. This is not bad at all. This is fairly clean for about 30,000 miles. But you can see it even on the tip here. I don't know if it'll focus. Is it focusing? You can see how it's shiny. Like I said, that's all the metallic flake from the worn gears. Gears wear. And no matter how much oil or how high quality oil you put in there, things are going to wear. So you want to get this out. That's why I mentioned on the forums, you know, even though the owner's manual or the service schedule doesn't say anything about this service, you still want to do it because you don't want all this metallic dust causing more wear. Now that it is finished draining, just gently wipe it down. Put your copper washer back on the drain plug. Remember, that's the one with the magnet on it. And hand thread it. Do not thread it using any kind of tools, because if you cross thread it by hand, you will know it will stop spinning. With a tool, you will never know, and you just keep shoving it in there, and you'll break down the threads. And one day that thing will come flying out, and you won't know until it's too late. So get started by hand. Get it nice and tight. Then use your impact that you've learned and trusted. That's it. Alright guys, we're going to use our trusty transfer pump. This one, like I said, is specifically designed. It's going to fit directly right on that bottle. So we're going to remove this cap. Remove the cover. Take our pump, slide it in, and screw it on like so. And we're going to feed it through that cross member, that same hole that we used to remove the drain plug. We're going to feed that hose through. Now the trick to know is when enough is enough is you're going to be filling it in, and as you're pumping it, it's going to be obviously filling up the fluid inside the pumpkin. When it starts pouring out of the fill hole, it's done, it's filled. That's enough. That is pretty much your universal measure of when enough is enough. Alright, as I said before, we're going to feed this hose through this cross member right into the fill hole, and we're going to begin to pump and fill this fluid up. And it's going in. Now don't go ballistic with this hand pump. This way you allow the fluid to release any of the bubbles upon entering the differential. Obviously bubbles take up space. You don't want the bubbles to come out later and you end up not having enough fluid in there. Well, there it goes. So at that point, just take your fill bolt. Again, same process. Hand start it, no tools. This ensures that you get it in the threads and you don't cross strip it.
Put it through the cross member. Finish it up by hand. And finish the job. Bringing it in tight. And that's it.